I hope that you can hear me. Thank you so much. Let me share the screen as well to make sure that everything's fine. Okay. Audio, video, all good? All good. Thank you so much. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today in this Market Insights webinar. So today we will be covering what happened this week and what happened in the previous week in regards to the market. And of course, we will be speaking about the market crash that happened on the Friday. So we will divide this webinar into two sessions or two sections. I mean, like we have the fundamental part, and then we will speak about the technical part, and let's see what are the potential opportunities that the market is giving us. Okay, so let's get started, and then if you definitely have any questions later on after we finish all the news and all the market insights, then we would answer your questions. Okay. Okay, so let's get started with the top news that happens this week, even yesterday and in the last week. So we all know that the crypto has crashed almost 50% down from its value, and most of the crypto currencies have the collapsed last week for 50%. Okay, and the main reason for that is the tension and the trade war speak that happened from Trump, the tweet that Trump that has posted. Okay, so as we can see, you know, the US-China trade war has started again, and Trump has mentioned that it would be 100% tariff on China again. Okay, so once he did that, once he said that, what happened to the crypto? The crypto has, and all the digital assets, they have collapsed immediately. Around $1.9 billion were liquidated from the market. Okay, now the question is that everyone is waiting for, was this something like deliberate or it was something normal? So a lot of point of views it's coming to this point, but we are not sure whether this was like something deliberately done by Trump or it is not. But what we can see that when Trump mentioned that they are going to impose tariffs, okay, impose tariffs on China up to 100%. Now, we need to get the bigger picture around what's happening in the market to be able to read it carefully, okay? So 100% tariff, this number is very high. Why especially 100%? And then after that, what happened? They said, okay, let's cool it, okay, and we will find another solution with what? With China. And then there is an uptrend coming for the, or a recovery, let's say still a weak recovery for the cryptocurrencies and other currencies, digital currencies like Ethereum and so on, and then started to recover. So it seems like there is, you know, I don't want to say manipulation, but it was something that is deliberately done in order to maybe liquidate or reduce the price of the crypto for that price, and then will make a lot of people to buy it again. So this was the first thing that we need to speak about, which is the China trade war. And every time that this will come to the picture, the market will be having a lot of volatility, especially in the crypto and in the gold as well. Okay, so this was the first thing that we need to cover, which is the US-China. And definitely this is linked to the uncertainty in the market because there is no clear vision or strategy that the USA is following. Okay, so 100% tariffs, and then we will reduce it, and then we will find a negotiation, and then everything will come okay, and then we will show it again, and so on and so forth. So this momentum of volatility and uncertainty, it actually makes the investors very, very, very afraid, and they run to the gold. And we saw that today gold has crossed 4,200 per dollar, and then it again corrected slightly, and then it may go up again up to 4,250, as we will see in the technical part. Okay, so any question related to this part of the trade China war? All good, clear? Okay, So now let's jump to the other thing, which is also important, and this actually plays an important role in the part of the gold, okay, the movement of the gold. So we all know that the war between Palestine and Israel and Hamas, they actually agreed and they signed the agreement, and everything now is over. Okay, so that's also one thing that the hostage have been okay disarmament, and everything is now okay for the from Palestinian side and Israeli side. So there is no more war in the Middle East. So this will actually reduce the tension and the geopolitical risks in the Middle East part. Okay, but still, if we are speaking about the movement that's going to happen in the market, we still there are multiple factors that is leading the gold prices to the higher highs, as we can see. Okay, so the global the geopolitical tension now is a little bit reduced, but still there are other some tensions that's happening not in the Middle East area, but we are speaking between USA and China, and these are one of the biggest two economies all over the world. So a tension between these two will actually make a lot of volatility in the market. And for us, volatility is something good, but we need to know how to use it carefully, because I hope that no one from you, lost your account or blown your account in the crypto market or the gold because of these news, because high impact news, actually it's good and bad, but we need to make our risk management very, very, very strict and be very careful when trading all of this news. Okay. Okay. So regarding Hamas and Israel, everything is over. China and US trade war still in the picture. We're still having a lot of arguments whether it will be over or it will extend to other things, because China has started to threaten also USA. Okay, now yesterday what happened for Jerome Powell? He had a speech and he was explaining the outlook in the market, strengthen or weaken the dollar. I'll explain that for sure. Okay, so definitely it will weaken the dollar. Definitely it will weaken the dollar. Okay, and this is why the gold is going higher and higher and higher, because imposing more tariffs on it's maybe it is going to give you a bullish momentum on the dollar. Okay, but we still, this is not the only factor that we can conclude, because there are other multiple factors that we need to take it into consideration. So the whole story is not just to focus on one thing. This is one single factor that affects the dollar price, but there are multiple factors that we are going to speak about it right now. Okay. Okay, and then Jerome Powell yesterday, he spoke about the balance sheet of the central bank and the employment and the shutdown and all of these things. And what actually we can conclude from his speech yesterday, that we have expected like two more cuts, okay, coming, okay, and most likely by 90% there will be two more interest rate cuts. Now, if you're speaking about interest rate cuts for Aaron, it will be definitely weaken the dollar. Okay, so this is another factor. Now you have the tariff and you have the geopolitical tension, and then you have the interest rate that is going to also what? To also be cut. I think there is two cuts that will happen in this year and the beginning of the next year. Okay, so we are expecting one this month as well. Okay, so if this happened, yes, if this happened, thank you so much. If this happened, definitely there will be more higher highs in the gold. Why we have not seen NFPE data? No, it's not because that. This is because of the shutdown, the US shutdown, because we cannot release the data. If you check any website, the data are tentative because they cannot release the data because the government has shut down. Okay, and as long as the government shut down, we cannot get an accurate data. Okay, so that's why Jerome Powell is speaking from time to time just to give an update what's happening in the market, because we cannot release an official data or information while the US government is being shut down. Okay, So the NFP will not be released, the unemployment, because tomorrow you have also, if we opened the economic calendar, okay, so today we don't have anything related to US, okay, and all the news related to also USA tomorrow, it's not there, it's all tentative, okay, because the shutdown. So we need to be careful because these data are not released accurately and sometimes it might get canceled and this will lead to more uncertainty in the market. So please be careful when you are taking your trades and taking your positions. Okay, manage your risk carefully. Okay. Okay, so we do have the interest rate cut already we have covered, and we have covered the trade war between US and China, and we have covered the agreement and the peace that happened between Israel and Hamas, which is slightly has reduced the geopolitical tension in the Middle East area. Okay, now one of the most important thing that Jerome Powell has mentioned also yesterday, that on the short term, okay, he said on the short term, there is another cut. What difficult days while trading USD pairs? I'll answer all of this. So Powell signals another cut as weak hiring pressure on employment. So the unemployment on the short run is not doing very well, really, as Jerome Powell yesterday said. He didn't mention that directly, but definitely if you have watched the speech yesterday, then it is indirectly saying that we are in a difficult situation on the short run, and we hope that we are going to recover soon. So still the US economy is not doing very well, and there is still a lot of pressure on the unemployment information, and unemployment data is getting very weak. Okay. So this is definitely something that is not also good for the USD currency. Okay. Now, all of this is the main fundamental news, that we have, explained for now, okay, and for the previous week starting from Friday, okay, because the war has started from Friday, if you remember. And then let's see what's gonna happen in the upcoming days, okay. And for the fundamental analysis for the news, we don't have anything right now, the major. So at the moment, we have concluded that we have an interest rate cut expected to happen this week, this month. Okay, and would be another one that may happen as well. Okay, let's see if it will happen or not. So instead of one, we have two. This is going to weaken the dollar too much. Okay. And the war, the trade war, we have concluded, and also the Hamas and Israel agreement that is done. So these are the main fundamental news that we have covered, and these are the most important thing that you should pay attention and follow up based on these things. Okay, now let's jump to the technical part. Okay, and just to answer Ilyas, what a difficult days while trading USD pairs. So as I mentioned now, USD, let's jump to the technical part, and I'll show it to you on the graphs because it will be much more clearer. Okay, so I like to start my technical analysis part just by constituting a bias, what's happening on the dollar. Okay, so let's explain what's happening on the dollar index at the moment. Okay, so let's jump to the monthly time frame on the dollar index. Okay, so as you can see, we have been, like, if you are looking for a bigger picture on the monthly, okay, so the dollar is getting weaker, 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 weaker. Okay, although nowadays we are an uptrend. Okay, we are an uptrend right now. Clear, we can see higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. But at the same time, also, if we are comparing these parts, okay, we have higher high, lower high, we have a lower high, and we have a lower high. So we are actually testing a very critical point in the dollar index, as you can see. Now, this is the main resistance area, support area that we can see here. So we have either two options, okay? These two options, either we break down this support level, and this would be something I'm expecting that it's gonna happen soon if the interest rate cut has happened, especially if we do have two more rate cuts. So I think that we will be go like this, okay? And if this does not happen and the US economy outlook becomes clearer and there are more certainty, then I believe that things will go on this way. So we are actually in a very critical point nowadays, which is this support level, okay? The support level on the monthly, on the monthly chart. Okay, now if we are moving to the weekly point or to the weekly charts, okay, so as you can see, we are still, like, I would say, moving on a sideway. Okay, we broke this first support level and then we are retesting again, but still overall we are in a downtrend. If you can see, this high is lower than this high is lower than this high, so it means we are in a bullish momentum, bearish momentum for the dollar, for the dollar index. So we must get a clear picture what is going to happen, and this definitely is going to affected by the interest rate cuts, okay, and China and US trade war. Also, Trump has tried to, settle the war between Russia and Ukraine because Trump has a certain vision that he will be the leader. He's the most powerful president in the world, and he wanted to get the Nobel Prize for Peace, but it didn't. Okay, so he's trying to do his best to prevent the wars, but definitely let's see what's going to happen if he's going to succeed in doing this and stop the Russian and Ukrainian war. Then a little bit the situation will be good, but for now nothing has been confirmed. Only one war has stopped, which is Israel and Hamas war. Okay, so we know that what are the factors that is affecting the dollar index at the moment on the daily chart. Okay, it would be more clearer, okay, that we are here also as well. We are moving almost on sideway, but still we can show slightly bearish momentum. As you can see, lower lows, lower highs, and lower highs and lower highs with same lows. Okay, so this means that it's a very strong support here. We are facing very strong support, and definitely all the factors that I've explained, it will going to determine where is the next direction for the dollar. Okay, now answering question of my dear friend Ilyas. Okay, so Ilyas, see, there is no difficult days for trading. Okay, there is no specific days. I cannot say that there is a specific day difficult for trading USD pairs, but if there are some high impact news, if there is a speech of Jerome Powell, then you need to be careful and conclude what's going to happen in this speech. You need to conclude because, see, I can attend the Jerome Powell speech, and you can attend it. You can interpret it in a different way, and I can interpret it in a different way. So while you are trading in any of these events, please make sure that you are following your risk management. Okay, don't over leverage, don't oversize your position, just stick to the plan and be careful of using your stop loss. Don't change your stop losses whatever happens, especially in these days. Okay, because the market now is very volatile. So if you found that Jerome Powell is speaking, or anyone of the Trump, for example, you need to follow Trump tweets, because this is actually, they are threatened the market, but they are actually giving us a lot of opportunities. Okay, so for example, a lot of people, they bought the crypto at depth. Okay, I was one of these persons. Like, I was watching the crash in front of my eyes. I didn't believe. Okay, I never traded Bitcoin before, but I watched the crash. Okay, and then I figured out, oh my God, what's happening right now? And then I figured out that everyone is speaking about the tweet posted by Donald Trump. Okay, so you need to be careful when all of these persons are speaking. They need to conclude it very well and be careful and stick to the risk management. That's it. This is the only thing that I can advise for you, but I cannot specify for you specific date to trade the USD pairs. Okay, So in the 4-hour charts for the dollar index, as you can see, still we are having, if we are focusing on this part, then let me just remove all of these things to make it crystal clear for you. Then we can see here there's an uptrend, but don't get manipulated by the market. Don't forget your horizontal resistance and support levels, okay? Because I've mentioned for you, these are very critical areas to look at, okay? So we have here a resistant level, very strong, and we have here a resistant level. And then we can see here on the short run that what we have here is that we have this high, okay? Okay, and we have a lower high, and then we reach it to this level. So we do have two things that we need to focus on if we put here. So we can see a horizontal support level, and we can see the uptrend, okay, the short uptrend support as well, okay, for this channel. So you need to take care whether it's going, actually is going to rebound or it will continue, it will just retest and go down. Let's see what's going to happen. But also the moving averages is showing uh, maybe a potential cross. Okay, a potential cross. As you can see, the AMA 20 maybe is going to cross the 50, and then if this happens, this will signal a potential bearish direction. This is in the 4-hour chart. Okay, any question for the dollar index? Now, as you can see, it's an uptrend. Okay, that's cool, but we need to look at the bigger picture. Don't forget always to look at the bigger bigger picture. So if you check any other pairs, then you will understand what is the bias for the dollar index. The most important thing to understand what's happening in the dollar index, and then trade the other pairs related to the USD. Okay. Now, let's jump to the, I believe that everyone has joined today in order to know what is going to happen in the Bitcoin. Am I right? Okay, so jumping to the Bitcoin. Now, let's see. Okay, I just will bring the chart. I remove everything. Let's do the analysis together and let's understand what's gonna happen. You don't trade Bitcoin, Aaron. Hope it's good for you. Okay, but let me tell you something honestly. There are very good opportunities nowadays in the crypto market. Okay, because this volatility, either it will go higher again, and if the market recovers, it will go extremely higher, or it will continue to fall down. So we are in a critical, very, very critical phases. So we need to look at, because these critical phases actually brings us a lot of potential opportunities, but also if you don't like to trade Bitcoin, it's fine, but I'm just giving you the what is happening in the market. So let's go here and check the monthly chart for the Bitcoin. Okay, so this is the monthly chart for the Bitcoin, as you can see. Okay, so we are like, this is the first thing for the crypto. As you can see, it's a clear bullish direction. Okay, and we stopped here. Okay, definitely if we are looking at from a time to time, okay, I just want to remove this. Okay, now in 2013, a slight drop happened. Okay, and then we can see here there is another slight drop. Okay, it's not a slight drop because a lot of people lost everything in these drops, and then we have one here. Okay, and the recent one that happened, it is actually not as the biggest one. Okay, so it was this part. Okay, so as you can see that from time to time, okay, if you are looking on the bigger picture starting from 2012 till now, okay, from a time to time, like from a period, as we can see, 4 or 5 years, the same thing happens, okay? There is a huge correction, a lot of money got liquidated from the crypto market, and then it started to recover. Now we are in this level of 112, okay, and this is a very critical level. So we do not know what's going to happen actually, but if we are going to move to the lower time frames, then we will figure it out. the market needs to breathe. Of course, the market now is very, there is no clear bias on the market. What's going to happen in the market? And at the end of this webinar, I'm going to give you some tips and some advices just to take it carefully, because nowadays, if you are watching the news on a daily basis, someone like me, I literally, I don't sleep. I'm watching the entire market every single hour. So a lot of big investors, they are expecting that there is a market crash that's going to happen soon. Okay, so don't be happy if everything is recording all-time highs. If the gold is recording all-time highs, if the S&P is recording all-time highs, if NASDAQ, if all the equities all-time highs, then there is something wrong. Okay, something gonna happen. Because believe me, if you get back to the history and you started from 1962, what happened in Netherlands for the tulip flower and internet.com and the mortgage and all of these things, they have a common pattern. Okay, there are overconfidence. Does Bitcoin relate somehow to dollar? I'll explain what we can consider the Bitcoin. Okay, so all of these crises that happened in the history, they have an or a common pattern. The pattern is high speculation, high leverage, and overconfidence from investors. So now a lot of people, they are speculating a lot to get their potential opportunities. This is one thing. There is no clear market certainty. No one knows what's going to happen next, and this is something that is unusual. It's red signal. Okay, so you need to be careful. So at any point of time, we don't know that the market, all the entire market may crash. Okay, so just be careful when you are taking your position. Now, for the weekly chart on the crypto, as you can see as well, it will be much more clearer. These downturns that happens from a year to year, okay, okay, so there is a gap that always, there is a correction that's happening in the crypto market. As you can see, high, 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 and then we go down, pull back, and then high, and then we have a pullback, and then a huge pullback to the down. Okay. Now let's go to the daily chart and let's see how the crypto is doing on the daily chart. Okay. So on the daily chart, as you can see, there is a clear uptrend happening. If we started from this bottom, so we can see that there is a clear uptrend happening in the market. Okay, with definitely some of the corrections. Okay, now let's focus on this area. So this area, as you can see here, okay, we are almost in a side way. Okay, we are almost here on a side way. There is a consolidation happening. Okay, so how we can decide whether the Bitcoin is going to fully recover and start the bullish momentum up to 119,000? We don't know. We need a confirmation to break this zone. Okay, so this zone is starting from, I believe, July till now. Okay, so from July, 3 months back, we are still moving on a range way if you are a long-term investor in crypto. In the 4 hours, it's going to be more clear. So as you can see here, okay, we still, this is a very strong support level. It's not able to get broken. Okay, let me change the color to green. So this is a huge and strong, very strong support level. Okay, so previously it was a resistant level and then it was broken, tested again, and then tested again, broken, and then tested again, and then broken, and now it becomes the support level for what? It becomes the support level for the Bitcoin. Okay, so what we can notice here that the crash happened specifically in this three huge bearish candles, as you can see here. Okay, so here is the crash, and then the market started to correct and people started to buy from the dip. Okay, so as you can see here, Now, if you focus on the candle patterns, as you can see, a lot of rejection candles that when it comes to this level, it again pull back higher and then it comes again to the level and then it pull back and so on. Okay, so the market is not clear what's going to happen. Okay, but we need to make sure that we get out of this zone in order to make sure that we are going into the same direction or the correct direction. Otherwise, the market now is not clear. Okay, as you can see, we're still having a smaller side range in this area as well. It may continue like this, we don't know. So it may go up here, 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 here. But I think that it's going to break and come back again to the level of this level at the beginning, which is 119, first of all. So 119 will be the first resistant level for the crypto for now, for the Bitcoin. Okay, the same thing applies for Ethereum and so on. Okay, now if you move to the 1 hour chart, let's jump to the 1 hour chart. Let me remove these drawings. So if you can see here, if we took from the highest level from the crash time and we draw the Fibonacci, okay, so what you can see here is that it is being retested twice. It's being retested twice here on the 50 level Fibonacci. Okay, also this is our strong support level that we spoke about. It was not be able to broken many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not being able to broken. Okay, so if this level is broken, okay, so we can make a clear direction right now. Okay, what are the conditions? If this level is broken with a full candle, a momentum candle, then okay, then we are expecting more bearish to Bitcoin. If not, then at least we need a break from this level, okay, until we reach the level of 119, because this is the closest resistant level that we are expecting, which is equal to 78 and Fibonacci level. Okay? Yes. Okay, Erin? Is this is clear? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so these are, that's why I'm telling you that we need to focus on the Bitcoin, because there are a good potential opportunities if you are focusing on this area. Okay, so me myself, I took a trade yesterday on this part. Okay, from this part till here, and then it started to reject again. I can see that 50% level of Fibonacci 116,000 is a very, very, very strong support level. Sorry, resistant level, this level. Okay, so we need to mark it. And then there is a drop back from this level, and then it becomes again lower to the level of 2030. It's been tested multiple times on a shorter time frame. As you can see, these wicks represent that there is a huge number of sellers here. They don't want the price to break again to the level of 116, and then we can see 4 bearish candles here. So let's wait what's going to happen next to this level. I'm expecting it will reach this level and then it will retest again. If it failed to break, okay, and we didn't get any confirmation, we need a full candle, a momentum candle that breaks this level and hold below this level. Then we can have a clear bias about the bearish direction of the Bitcoin. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, now let's jump to everyone's favorite, the gold. Okay, so in the gold now, okay, so let's start from the monthly, okay? Because I like to take it even from, if you want me to take it from the 6 months, okay, so let's see, okay? So it's a clear bullish, okay? Moving averages are, there is no convergence, okay? As you can see, the size between these two lines, okay, they are still wider. We do not expect anything, but this is on the 6 months. This is on the 6 months. So as we know, all of us, if the moving averages are crossing or almost like doing like this, okay, then we are expecting that the market is going to reverse. But for now, as for the even the MACD, which is a momentum indicator, there is no divergence, nothing from the moving averages. All the candles are above. There is no convergence, which represents we still having or holding the bullish momentum for the gold on the 6 months. Okay, so for the 6 month, the gold is bullish. Okay, now let's go for the 3 months as well. As we can see, we don't have anything that we should be worried about whether the market is going to um, reverse or not, because here there is a high, a higher high. On the MACD, there is no divergence happening, okay? And it actually, the price is following the momentum indicator, so we do not expect any divergence. There is a slight thing happen here, but it was also, expected because as you can see here, this happened in 2012, okay? A huge drop that happens in the price, and then it goes pull back again. So we still don't have anything that we should be worried about in the gold. However, the gold now is reaching to, as we are speaking right now, 4187 per ounce. Now this price is very high price for the gold. Now the main issue once we're trading the gold at these highs, okay, you don't have a historical resistance level. So these are the first records on the chart. You don't have a clear resistance level or even a psychological resistance or support level. Okay, for the support, we have the support, but for the resistance, we don't know. So we don't know when the market is going to pull back from this. Okay, a correction, and then it will continue up. Okay, so if you can see the behavior of the gold, every time it corrects and then it makes a new high. It corrects and then it makes a new high. It corrects and then it makes a new high. So if you even move into the monthly chart, it will be much more clear. This is the behavior of the gold. Okay, so we have here one, okay, and then we have a correction, and then we have a higher high, and then we have a correction, and then we have created another higher high, and then there is a correction, and then there is a higher high, and then as you can see here, let me zoom it a little bit, okay, a correction, and then it breaks, and then I'll consider this as one, since we are speaking about the monthly charts, a correction, and then a higher high. So what is next? That's the question. What is next? No one knows, okay? Even me, I don't know. No one knows, okay? So there might be a correction happening, such as this one. Okay, as you can see here, there's a correction that dropped from 199 till 16, $300 drop. Okay, so it might be there is a till this level. As you can see, there is some rejections happening here. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. Okay, and then it will continue for the higher high. Now, the gold actually is supported by the fundamentals, okay? By the fundamentals, the factors that we spoke about, the uncertainty, interest rate cuts, the geopolitical tension, the tariffs war, all of these things are supporting the gold to correct and then makes a new higher high, okay? If any of these factors, or I would say of most of these factors are over, then at that time you can expect the market to, or the gold price to drop again, okay? But since all of these factors are remaining intact, then the gold will keep pushing up, okay? When Ukraine falls, it will jump even higher. Of course, of course, because this adds more uncertainty to the market. Now, because of the war, Ukraine falls. Okay, so we have one country's gone, and then this is represent more risk sentiment to the market. So people will be afraid, the investor will be having a lot of uncertainty, and then it will pull back slightly, and then it will go to another higher high. And for your like information, if you checked the on trading view, the we can also figure out here if we go to the products and just a minute, if we go to the futures for on gold. Okay, let me just go futures on trading view. Okay, you would see, because we can figure out and discover the prices from the futures as well. Gold charts and codes. Let's see here. Let's write contracts. Okay, so if we go to gold future contracts, okay, so what you can see here is that by December 2025, it is 4,196. And we are currently going for 4,196. We are in October, and the future contract of December is valued at priced at 4,196. Okay. All of you are aware of the future contracts, or should I give you a quick brief about it? Okay, so Elias and Erin, I'll definitely explain that. So the contracts, the future contracts, we can use it in a price discovery. So let's assume, for example, that we have a buyer of a gold and a seller of a gold. Okay, so we have a buyer and a seller. Now, the buyer of a gold, he bought the gold spot now at 4,194. Okay, this is spot. Okay, I just bought gold at this price. Now, in order to hedge the risk of the gold, in order to hedge the risk of the gold of falling down, I want to make sure that even if the market goes below 4,194, then I'll still, okay, sell it at 4,194 or even higher. So there in the market, you would find some contracts, okay? So these contracts actually gives you the opportunity to sell, okay? Because you are a buyer, then you need to sell this contract. You can sell the gold at 5,150. Okay, so you would find a contract. If you bought this contract, then you can sell what? You can sell the gold at 515. So if the contract price is higher, it means what? It means that people are expecting the gold price to be even more higher, right? If the value of the contract is higher, is getting higher all over the time, then we are expecting definitely for sure that the asset itself, which is the gold, is getting higher, right? Okay, thank you so much. So if you check the futures contract in 2030, all of these are future contract, 2031, it actually, the contract, it worth almost $5,000. Okay, so a lot of investors, they are saying, okay, gold will reach 5,000. Of course it will reach 5,000. Okay, because the gold futures is valued currently at 4,997 for 2031. Okay, so you can make a lot of profit from that as well. Okay, so make sure that you follow the futures, because it actually gives a lot of indication what's happening in the market. Okay, now if we go for the weekly chart, okay, I don't want to trade the futures. Let me go back to the spot. Okay, let's go to the weekly chart. As you can see here, we are 4,185, all bullish candles, no correction. This is the bigger picture. Now for the daily chart, again, moving averages, we are, and every time if you can see, yes, Elias, please ask me. Do you have a question? Okay, no worries, no worries. Okay, and every time that you can see the gold here, just let me show it to you. Every time the gold moves into a consolidation phase, okay, it moves a little bit sideways, like here, it moves in a sideways, and then it comes here, slightly moves on a sideways, and then it comes here, it moves on a sideway. Every time it moves on a sideway, and then it goes and break. And this is what we saw on the 6 months chart. Okay, so the slight break, and then a new higher high, and then we consolidate, and then a new higher high, and then we consolidate, and then a new higher high. This is what was there in the 6 month chart. Okay, so what we are expecting here, even here, we can see on the, so we are expecting another, another consolidation that may happen like this, and then we will break to another high. Okay, so all of these things that you should be aware of, please. Okay, thank you. Now let's draw our 4 hours charts. Okay, let's reset the chart here, and as you can see, nothing more we can see. We can see here that in this part we have the resistance level that happened in 8th of October last week, and then the prices started to drop. Okay, and even though what we can see here that after the pullback, as I mentioned, it started again to break. Okay, and today, like I think 2 hours back, there was a huge candle. If we go to the hour chart, a huge correction candle here, this one. Okay, if you can see this candle. Okay, the price fall because it reached this level. Okay, for 180, it was a new record of high, and then it goes back again, slightly, and then it blow up again to the higher level. So as you can see now, the price is, be careful, please, because once you read the chart, you need to focus on the details. Now, if you can see, we have here a high, and we have here what on the price? We have a higher high. But when it comes to the momentum indicator, it's making lower highs. Okay, so this is why we're expecting a reversal. And even though the signals are getting slightly crossed, as you can see, okay, there is a slight crossing, and also more confirmation is getting from the histogram on the MACD. Okay, so we have a divergence, we have a bearish divergence happening on the indicator, and this is something that usually gives you the indication at the end of a trend that, okay, buyers are exhausting and sellers are now coming into the business. They are putting the money into the business. But don't forget also that would be a correction. Okay, this would be like a correction to this level. Okay, maybe till here, and then it will recover again. Okay, unless something changed in the fundamental news that we have spoken about. Otherwise, this diversion just showed that there is a potential pressure coming from the sellers till this level to pull back, and then people will start to buy again, and we break the new or make a new high. Okay, make money on buy or sell? Yes, but you need to be careful. For me, I don't actually sell gold because I don't want to, go against the market. The market now, the entire from 6 months, it's very bullish. Okay, so waiting the pullback or the correction is something very risky. Okay, but because when it goes back or it's be sold, yes. Okay, so the probability of making lower lows, it's very low. But the probability, even if you bought and the price goes down, the probability of getting higher highs, it's very high, because the 6 months, yes, the 6 months is bullish. So be careful when you're choosing the probability. The probability is higher high. So be careful once you sell. If you sold and you got a profit, then leave the market for that and be satisfied, and then look for the buying opportunities. Okay, you will decrease your risk. Okay, Okay, so this is for the gold. As long as the gold is still above this level, okay, and is rebounding from the moving average 50, then we are still in the bullish direction. Okay, if it started to go below these levels, and this is something that I do not expect, okay, then 3955, then we will assume a bearish continuation. Okay, I'm not going to trade gold as it's not very healthy for a small account. Yes, I agree with you. Yeah, don't trade gold for now. If your accounts are small, don't trade these things. Okay, these are the lower time frames. As you can see, we have here a very critical level and here as well. Okay, so make sure to watch the gold and watch these levels. Okay. Okay, now the last thing that I would like to show to you and give you an overview about it, this is the oil. Okay, oil is also was getting weaker. Okay, gold was like trading on a, as you can see, a consolidation line, a 4-hour chart, even if we can see the daily chart here. Okay, so we can see a clear downtrend in the oil. Okay, there's a downtrend on in the oil. Okay, but with a very strong support level at 55. Very strong support level at 55 and 57. Okay, so if we zoom in this sideways part, we have, okay, we broke this level, okay, but we still, don't forget that we still, the support level till what? Till 56. Moving averages are crossing and also signaling continuation of bearish momentum. And also all the news are expecting that because of oversupply of oil, the prices are going to further go down. Okay, so to make sure or to confirm the continuation of a bearish direction for the oil, we need to test this level. And then if we succeeded to break it fully by a candle, then it will continue to the lower lows. Okay, okay. No matter if any loss of double compared to individual pairs. Yes, whatever. Okay, so it depends on you. What's your risk style? What's your account side? What's your risk management? What do you trade? What you don't trade? Okay, it depends what you want to do in your, what's your risk style, because it differs from one trader to another trader. But my advice to you, all of you right now, and even I advise myself every day, please, we need to stick to the plan. We don't risk our money because the money now is very volatile. There is a lot of things that's happening and we are not aware of. Don't forget that if the market is along, all of the markets, the equities, the gold, the dollar, everything is moving in the same way, then you should be worried. Even if they are dropping, you should be worried because there is something wrong. The market, if the dollar is going higher, then the equity should be going higher. And if you look at the dollar, we saw that the dollar on the daily, okay, it's starting to recover, but on the overall picture, it is in a downtrend. Okay, and if you check here what happens to Nasdaq, okay, let me open Nasdaq and the equities market as well. Let's have a quick look on them. So we have here the indices. Okay, we have the US 30. Okay, what you can see here on a daily chart, that was also something, a crash. It's not a crash, okay, but the price dropped from 468 till 45, okay, and then it started to recover again. So you need to be careful. That's my advice for you. And these are all the updates that happens in the market. Please trade responsibly, manage your risk, and don't over leverage, don't over position. Stay safe. And if you have any questions, I'm more happy to answer. Any questions so far? All clear? Thank you so much. And we'll see you again in one of our Market Insights webinar. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you. Bye bye.